For decades, science fiction films have returned to one central question: what if the human body were no longer fragile? Across genres and eras, filmmakers have imagined advanced healing technologies, often referred to today as medbeds, regeneration chambers, or genetic resequencers, that could instantly repair injury, reverse disease, or even rebuild the human body entirely. I ask, what if these devices are not fictional, but part of a soft disclosure initiative that's been going on since the early 60s? I did a video on this soft disclosure campaign along with declassified government documents supporting that many TV programs and movies have been either programming or awakening. I'll link that video at the end and in the description, but today we are going to focus specifically on the common operational blueprints shared across this programming, especially when compared with what modern science understands about biology, genetics, and consciousness. So get ready, because fiction isn't always make-believe. One of the most striking depictions of a true medbed appears in the 2013 film Elysium. In this world, the wealthy live aboard a pristine orbital habitat where automated medical bays are capable of curing virtually any illness within seconds. A patient lies down. The machine scans the entire body, identifies abnormalities, and immediately repairs them, whether the issue is cancer, organ failure, neurological damage, or even cellular aging. These medbays operate without doctors, implying an advanced artificial intelligence capable of total biological diagnostics and intervention. The film never explains the internal mechanics, but visually and narratively, these beds function as omnipotent healing platforms, suggesting a combination of atomic-level scanning, nanotechnology, and complete biological mapping. What stands out most is not just their power, but their exclusivity, highlighting how access to such technology could fundamentally redefine mortality as we know it. Earlier films approached healing technology differently, often emphasizing regeneration over instant repair. In Starship Troopers, injured soldiers are placed inside large healing chambers after battle. These chambers resemble medical tanks or pods, enclosing the body in a controlled environment while robotic systems perform automated treatment. Healing appears to take time rather than occurring instantaneously, implying accelerated cellular repair rather than total reconstruction. The technology is never fully explained, but the visual language suggests a combination of advanced trauma medicine, automated surgery, and possibly nanotechnological repair processes. Unlike Elysium, these chambers don't imply immortality, only enhanced recovery. A similar but more unsettling version appears in Prometheus, part of the Alien franchise. Here, a highly advanced medical pod, designed for non-human biology, is used to perform complex surgical procedures, including the removal of a rapidly developing alien organism from a human host. This pod functions more like an autonomous surgical unit than a universal healer. It scans, diagnoses, anesthetizes, and performs intricate operations with inhuman precision. While it doesn't regenerate tissue instantly, it demonstrates a believable extrapolation of current surgical robotics, fused with advanced imaging and artificial intelligence decision-making. The tone here is important. The technology is powerful, but not benevolent. It heals, but it isn't designed for humans, reinforcing the idea that advanced medical systems may operate without empathy or moral judgment. To put this in perspective, the current deep state narrative is focused on making you fear extraterrestrials, painting them all as evil, cold beings. This simply isn't true. Just like human beings, there are both good and bad, but we have been assured that the dark reptilians and the gray drones have been eliminated, and that we're working with civilizations within the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Member worlds are benevolent and working closely with powers on Earth to achieve a vibrational evolution on Earth. So naturally, those fighting the awakening want you to fear the benevolent species that are guiding us, and which will be interacting with us at some point. What I can say is these ETs are capable of more compassion and love than most people on Earth, because of the level of frequency in which they exist. Other films shift the focus away from healing injuries and toward genetic control and resequencing, exploring how altering DNA could redefine humanity itself. Gattaca presents a society built entirely around genetic optimization. Children are conceived through genetic selection, screened for defects, and engineered for ideal traits. No single machine really dominates the screen in Gattaca. Instead, the technology is systemic. There's constant DNA analysis, sequencing, and categorization just embedded into everyday life. Healing, in this world, actually happens before birth. The film's power lies in showing how genetic perfection becomes a form of social control. It really raises ethical questions that are still relevant today, especially as real gene editing tools continue to advance. This film is likely dark-controlled to scare you away from technology, but compare us to just 80 years ago. Experimental technology like TVs are now in every home and even our vehicles. Computers only existed in science fiction back then, but now everyone has multiple smart devices connected to the internet. It's important to remember that technological advancement is not a matter of if, but when. Throughout history, powerful innovations have often been introduced without transparency or ethical oversight, and in many cases have been used to control, exploit, or harm us rather than uplift mankind. Technology itself is neutral. It reflects the intentions of those who design and deploy it. When guided by integrity, accountability, and human-centered values, advanced technology has the capacity to reduce suffering, expand consciousness, restore health, and elevate quality of life in ways previously unimaginable. The future of human progress depends not on resisting advancement, but on reclaiming stewardship over it. More experimental and, frankly, disturbing genetic manipulation appears in Splice, where scientists combine human DNA with animal genetics to create a hybrid organism. This film treats genetic resequencing as a hands-on laboratory process rather than a clean automated system. The technology is, honestly, messy, unpredictable, and dangerous. Unlike Gattaca, where genetic manipulation is normalized, Splice really emphasizes the instability and unintended consequences of rewriting life's code. The resequencer here isn't just a single device, but a combination of gene splicing techniques, artificial gestation, and experimental biology, which highlights how little control creators truly have once DNA is altered. Films like The Sixth Day and Replicas take genetic technology even further by merging cloning with consciousness. In The Sixth Day, illegal human cloning actually allows for the creation of full biological duplicates. And in Replicas, cloned bodies are paired with neural mapping technology in an attempt to restore consciousness to these newly grown forms. These films suggest a future where the body itself becomes replaceable, while the true challenge lies in transferring or stabilizing the mind. Here, genetic resequencing functions less as healing and more as biological duplication, a reset of the physical form, raising profound questions about identity, continuity, and the nature of self. When these films are compared, a clear pattern emerges. Elysium presents the most complete healing, instant diagnosis, total repair, and implied cellular rejuvenation. Regeneration chambers in films like Starship Troopers and Prometheus emphasize recovery and surgical precision rather than energetic alignment. Genetic-focused films such as Gattaca, Splice, and Replicas explore prevention, redesign, and replacement rather than healing in the traditional sense. Some technologies work from the outside in, repairing tissue and organs, while others work from the inside out, altering DNA or rebuilding the body entirely. This naturally leads to the question, how close is real science to any of this? Today, modern medicine has made significant but incremental progress. Gene editing technologies like CRISPR allow scientists to modify DNA with increasing precision. Regenerative medicine uses stem cells to repair tissues, yet the process is slow and complex. Nanomedicine explores targeted drug delivery at the cellular level, and this field of medical technology is exploding today. Mainstream has not admitted to an existing technology capable of scanning the entire body and repairing it instantly, but one area where science fiction overlaps with real research is in the relationship between energy, frequency, and the human nervous system. Concepts such as brain entrainment, dominant frequency following, and phase-locked neural states are well documented in neuroscience. The brain naturally synchronizes with external rhythmic stimuli, such as sound or light, and this can influence states of relaxation, focus, and even perception, which is our awareness. These principles are already openly confirmed in limited ways. For example, in neurofeedback, therapeutic sound, and certain non-invasive brain stimulation techniques, the brain alignment is used to impact the physical state. Science fiction healing technologies often imply that advanced machines could extend these principles beyond the current capabilities of the brain, by using precise frequencies or electromagnetic fields to influence biological systems at deeper levels. While there is no public scientific evidence that frequency alone can regenerate organs or rewrite DNA, the idea that biological systems respond to electromagnetic environments isn't speculative. In this sense, sci-fi medbeds and regeneration chambers can be seen not as literal predictions, but as the integration of multiple emerging understanding of the mind-body connection, encompassing total biological mapping, artificial intelligence, regenerative biology, and the influence of energy and coherence on living systems. This is no longer speculative, as we have discussed in our analysis of the Gateway process studied by the U.S. Army in Operation Stargate. So medbed healing is definitely feasible, but it's much more complex than many can understand from a physical perspective. Ultimately, these science fiction technologies reflect a deeper human capability of freedom from biological limitation, suffering, and decay. Freedom from a system designed to make us dependent on it, and freedom from 80 years of brainwashing to control our understanding of our own capabilities. Whether framed as elite medical privilege, genetic destiny, or experimental hubris, we must consider not just how we might heal the body, but who controls the tools of healing and at what cost. Science fiction doesn't tell us what will happen, but it consistently reveals what we hope for, fear, and are willing to do in the pursuit of longevity and transformation. Beneath the discussion of medbeds, regeneration chambers, and instant healing lies a quieter question. Are we prepared to participate in our own evolution? Are we willing to engage in practices like intentional energy projection, breath, focus, and coherence methods that require presence rather than passivity? Are we willing to stand up, move our bodies, restore circulation and vitality, and treat motion as a biological necessity rather than an inconvenience? Or do we wait for a machine to do what discipline, awareness, and daily choices can so profoundly impact? At an even deeper level, we must be honest with ourselves and ask if we are willing to nourish ourselves with foods that come from the earth as intended, whole, living and unmanipulated, or whether we will continue outsourcing our health to corporate systems optimized for profit rather than human health. Science fiction often externalizes salvation into advanced technology, but the subtext is unmistakable. No device can forever override a body burdened by neglect, toxicity, and disconnection. True transformation has always required participation, guys. The technologies we crave will amplify healing, but with their use, responsibility is assumed. Are you ready to be responsible for your health? In that sense, science fiction is less a prediction of the future and more a mirror, revealing whether humanity is ready to rise to meet the tools it so desperately hopes will save it.